Namaskar. Today's reading will be your ultimate relationship compatibility reading. Through this reading, you will come to know about the various strong and weak areas of your relationship, how to focus on your strong areas and act upon the weaker areas to make your relationship long-lasting. You can take this reading for relationship with your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, crush, or any other person in this world whom you fantasize. Various facets which are required for a healthy long-term relationship will be covered in this reading. So let's jumpstart with the reading. However, before taking any such reading, it is extremely essential to calm down your mind and focus on the topic of the video. Take some deep breaths, long, deep breaths. Pray to the Lord of the universe that through this reading, you may get the deepest insights about your relationship and the blessing to make it extremely happy and joyous for you, as well as your partner. Now select a number which flashes in your mind between 1 to 12, any number between 1 to 12, which appears instantly in your mind. Those who have selected 1, 4, 7, 10 can continue with the reading from this point. Those of you who have selected 2, 5, 8, and 11 can click on the timestamp in the description to access your reading. Those who have selected 3, 6, 9, and 12 can click on the second timestamp in the description to directly access your reading. Now continuing with the numbers 1, 4, 7, and 10. On your screen you can see two horoscopes. One on the left is the horoscope of the male and on the right is that of the female. Starting with the physical or sexual compatibility between you both, Mars in the male horoscope, which represents male sexual energy, is in Scorpio, while Venus, which represents female energy, is in Capricorn. So I would say you wouldn't die to have sex with each other. Physical attraction between you both is average. As such, this factor is important for the initiation of things and not so important for continuation and sustenance as people mature in a long-term relationship. Coming to the emotional connect, how you both would feel in the relationship. Moon in the male horoscope is strong in Taurus, and superimposing this in the female chart, there are no aspects of other planets. So as a female in the relationship, you have no emotional hindrance or support from the male. You, as such, are emotionally strong and would feel great in all situations. Coming to the feelings of the male, Moon in Cancer is strong in itself, and also having the delight of an exalted Jupiter in the male chart, which would mean, as a male, you can't get a better deal than this as far as feeling nurtured and cared in the relationship. As a male, you would feel extremely delighted to be pampered by the female. Now, everything doesn't end with emotions. How about the alignment of your dreams and inspirations of life? Sun, which represents your dreams and inspirations, is in Aquarius in the male chart. It is having the delight of weak Jupiter in the female chart, as well as the starvation of Saturn. This means the female in the relationship wouldn't fully synchronize with the dreams and inspirations of the male. However, everything doesn't end here as Sun shares its responsibilities with Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury, which represents your ability to sail through the various practical problems in life through ingenious ideas, isn't looking great from the female's perspective. However, Jupiter has the delight of a strong moon. This means as a female, the principles, morals, and the value system of the male would have a strong and delightful impact on the female. And this position of Jupiter saves the day for the relationship to thrive. From the male's perspective, although the dreams and inspirations of the female are not fully aligned with the male, however, the female's ingenuity in navigating through the practical problems of life and sharing common values, morals, and religious principles with the female, the male would also feel secure and happy in the relationship. All going great, but what about the hard times that you both would face, and how exactly would you deal with the greatest problems that life throws at you as a couple? Here comes the role of Saturn and Mars. The male has the natural ability to discard the things and situations which are not essential for his growth and has enough willpower to fight through the hard times. From the male's perspective, the female also would have a great ability to not cling to the negatives in life and also fight out the harsh realities of life through sheer determination and willpower. So overall, this is a great match which is sure to survive the vicissitudes of life. Congratulations to you for being with the right person in your life. Now let's start the reading for all of you who have selected the numbers 2, 5, 8, or 11. In your screen you can see two horoscopes prepared for your reading. On the left is that of the male and on the right is that of the female. Starting off with the physical or sexual compatibility. Mars in the male horoscope is in trine to Venus in the female horoscope. This means both of you are super attracted to each other physically. Both of you will, most often, pounce on each other for sexual gratification. There is a huge magnetic attraction between you both. Moving on to the emotional compatibility. Moon in the male chart is in Scorpio in the female chart, delighted by Jupiter and Mars. This means as a female in the relationship, you will feel extremely delighted and lucky to have such a caring male as your partner. The caring nature of your partner will be both your delight and strength in life. For the male, Moon in Cancer will be starved by Saturn, but also supported by Jupiter and Mars. This means the male might feel some lack in how the female shows her care for him. However, the male's goodness in character and a strong mind doesn't really get bogged down with that lack. Moon also shares responsibility with Venus, which shows our capability to filter out and refine things in our and others' life. Here, the refinement of the female, which is manifested in her want of luxuries and the need for a comfortable life, somewhat misaligns with the male's life goals and vision. So in respect of taking care of each other's emotional needs, the male will feel more lack than the female. There is some adjustment required here on part of both the female and the male to align more with each other's lifestyle. Coming to the alignment of life goals and the bigger purpose of our lives. The dreams and inspirations of the female, represented by Sun, is in Aquarius, is afflicted with South Node in the male chart. Sun of the male is also starved by Venus of the female. This means that there is some sort of disconnect with each other's life's visions and goals. However, before concluding anything, we need to look at the other planets sharing responsibility with the Sun, which are Mercury and Jupiter. The pattern of managing various activities of life of the female, represented by Mercury, is with neutral Mars of the male, so there is no support or hindrance from the male with respect to the female's way of handling things. The male's Mercury is starved by the female's Saturn, thus both of you do not really appreciate each other's way of handling things in life. The goodness, moral values, and principles of the female, represented by Jupiter, is welcomed by two friendly planets in the male chart. So the male would appreciate and respect the female as an individual. Same is also the case for the female, who would respect the male as an individual and his principles and moral uprightness. Thank goodness Jupiter here saves the day. Moving on to the compatibility of dealing with the harsher realities of life and the ability to deal with them, shown by Saturn and Mars, respectively. The male's propensity to reject what is not meaningful to his life and his way of doing karma starves the female emotionally. However, she also appreciates and gives away some of her external wants. The female's identification of the things she lacks in her life affects the way the male manages various activities of life. The male's way of handling problems in a straightforward way through actions does not gel too much with the female's more analytical and discussion-oriented ways. So although both of you as a couple would do great when life goes smooth, and not to mention the supermagnetic physical attraction that you feel for each other. However, when life would throw serious challenges, which it definitely does for all, both of you really need to be mindful of supporting and appreciating the differences you have, and adjust accordingly. This is really the key for survival of this relationship. All the best to you folks, see you later! Now the reading for those of you who selected 3, 6, 9 and 12. In your screen you can see the horoscopes prepared for the reading. One on the left is that of the male and on the right is that of the female. Starting with your physical compatibility, Mars in the male chart is third from the Venus in the female chart. This means there is average amount of physical attraction between you both. Here Venus is moving towards Mars, therefore the female will be more physically attracted to the male than the male to the female. Next, let's talk about your emotional compatibility. Moon in the male chart, when superimposed on the female, has got mixed influences. So the female would somewhat feel lovesick, but would also get the strength from Sun for willful sacrifices in the relationship. The male would be more delighted, and also somewhat detached from the emotional support of the female due to the influence of Jupiter and Ketu on Moon of the female. Moving on to the compatibility of life goals and inspirations. The female, having an exalted Sun and also getting the support of Moon from the male's chart, would absolutely find her life's center and goal in the relationship. The male would also find his life goals fully supported by the female through the delight of Jupiter. The way the male manages various activities in life, shown by Mercury, is hurt by Mars of the female, so the female would not like much the male's way of handling things. However, the beautiful compatibility of the Sun, representing similar and aligned goals of life, more than makes up for this lack. The male's purpose of life and belief system as an individual as a whole, represented by Jupiter, is fully supported by the female through the aspect of friendly planets Mars and Moon. This means the female would appreciate the male as a person, and also get emotional and mental strength from him. Similar is the case for the male appreciating the female as a person, fully supporting the male in pursuing his dreams and ambitions. All going great till now. But let's also talk about how you would tackle the stressful and challenging situations in life as a couple. The identification of the female with whatever she lacks in her life, represented by Saturn, is starving the male's Jupiter, indicating some limitation of the male in truly following his principles and values in life in times of stress. However, with lacks and obstacles also come the ability to overcome those obstacles given by Mars. The female's willpower and determination delights the male and compensates for the lack shown by Saturn. Similarly, the male's identification of things lacking in life and also his actions hurts and impacts the female's ability to manage things efficiently, shown by her Mercury. Mars of the male also hurts the Saturn of the female, indicating fighting out things and putting efforts in a direction by the male which shouldn't be done from the female's perspective. So, in the case of a catastrophic event, the male should particularly be extremely careful, since both his identification with a lack and his actions to resolve the lack has a severe impact on the female. The female in such a case should take the lead in the most difficult circumstances for a harmonious relationship which should be appreciated by the male. Both the male and female should be mindful of their actions during crisis times, which can make or break the relationship. If the reading was helpful, do not forget to share it with your significant other ones. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.